Hello again. Hopefully I'm not sideways this time. I'm going to show you the protests. We'll talk tomorrow. So this is the event in New York, and my name is Jon Lancelot. I will be on Real Progressives tomorrow night at 9 p.m. It will be way more stable than this, but I just got here and I'm trying to support and show everyone what's going on here. And I'm running for New Jersey governor as an independent, and we'll go over all that. But right now we're focused on what's happening in North Dakota. Now, this, I remember being in this exact spot last year when Bernie was running in a primary, and there were so many people here. And this is a great spot in the city to really, really get a perspective.
Being peaceful, we're just repeating this damn cycle, and eventually we're gonna find an extinct end to ourselves. Self-defense. It's called self-defense. Stop calling it violence, because I'm really getting tired of this word. Violence does not happen when you are self-defending. You are allowed to punch somebody if they fucking have a knife in your face. You are allowed to throw something if there's a grenade being thrown at you, and you are more than likely allowed to fucking do something in Standing Rock if there's a military police throwing rubber bullets at you every fucking morning. Because you know what? They don't tell you about Standing Rock. These police don't terrorize that one event you saw on Facebook. They don't terrorize that two events you saw on Facebook. They terrorize every day. My fucking family out in Standing Rock has been going through rubber bullets every fucking morning. Every morning there is something happening in Standing Rock. There's flashing lights where you can't even sleep because these lights are so bright. They're supposed to disturb people. Alright? This is violence against people. When we talk about breaking windows or breaking property, that is not violence. Violence looks a lot like hunger. Violence looks a lot like displacement. Violence looks a lot like pipeline. Violence looks like police brutality. So fuck the NYC because they have more than 200 names on their hands and nobody has gone to jail yet. So when people say, I stand for Standing Rock, but I don't stand for Black Lives Matter because Black Lives Matter is violent, Black Lives Matter is not fucking violent. Black Lives Matter has been resisting. Black Lives Matter is self-defending. Right? If I was a black person dying every 28 hours, I would be burning the whole fucking precinct down. But that's allegedly, okay? No, I really would. But I don't want to get but seriously, guys, like, when we talk about violence, we talk about a system. We don't talk about people trying to defend themselves. So I just want to make that clear.
I can't help myself to hear somebody making a side comment in the side. I will say this. I've said this many, many times. Out of the respect of my ancestors have fought 3 generations of colonialism. Spanish, American, Japanese colonialism. My women, my mother, wanted to protect her lineage. there were no political reform that could save them. You know what, the small island, become the person you want to be. You leave the earth the way you found it. You don't destroy it, because we come and go. And it's our obligation as an individual who steps, as a visitor of this planet, of Mother Earth, that we leave it how we found it. So I'm going to say this once. Pacifism for marginalized community is a luxury item. While we can try to talk about pacifism and having to achieve it through American dream, it's not easy for many of us when you have a target in your back. We don't have an invisible privilege cloak that we carry over our shoulder and have to build towers and walls for us able to survive. So while my sister over here has spoken about politics, Black and Indigenous and brown undocumented community system to be part of a country that have told them that they're nothing, to ask us to amuse the very same system that kills and murders and displays my people, my community, is an act of a crime of humanity. You should be able to understand that what we're up against is not politicians. We're up against of a system that see us as labor force, a commodity. We should not be allowing women, in my tribe, women leads the space. I follow generations of women how to raise a family. I watched my grandparents raise 12 children. The vivid image of Mother Earth. You are part of Mother Earth. The children you create is a blessing from Mother Earth, so you can pass the knowledge how to protect it. We are visitors of this land. Why, like I said, I heard a lovely sister over here said, oh my God. These are the things that we have to start understanding. Because I will say this, 4 years from now, most of us might not be standing here. Some of us will be deported. Some of us will be in prison for fighting for the liberation for every Black and brown and Indigenous people. This is the reality. When we color outside the lines, what was the system was created to protect you is going to turn against you. Let me tell you something. Some of you are religious. I'm an atheist. I believe I'm a spiritual person. I connect with the planet. I connect with Mother Earth. But one of the things that we like to talk about is Jesus, right? Jesus is an activist who spoke in action, who showed kindness through action, has not used words to punish people. I don't know if you guys remember when that lady that went to clean Jesus' feet, where other people thought, oh, it's great, I'm well deserving of him. But who do you think he allowed to touch him? The person that people didn't consider worthy. So I would like to talk about how we're morally correct and try to impose that to others. Sometimes it's easy to turn that mirror around and say, I am no better than the person that I'm preaching it to. Humility is what we need in order. We have the capacity to listen to people. We are not expected, but inclusiveness requires empathy. Or you need to be willing to remove yourself from a space of allowing to save yourself and allowing to save others. Not represent them through tokenization, but allowing them to move forward and not perpetuate patriarchy, because women in this Mother Earth have experienced more pain, and they are warriors. They are warriors. Why we like to frown upon how women are weak? My culture have always seen women as leaders of our community. I bow down to them. I owe my life to them. From the womb, I owe myself to them.
Weren't you born from a woman?
Say what?
Weren't you born from a woman?
Born from a woman after a man copulated in her, yes.
Were you born from it?
What's called
He fed you for 9 months, though.
Did he carry me
He
for
fed you for
9 months? He did not carry me for 9 months, but he was a
You're
man
really
that
saying
actually...
this?
Say what?
You want to know the history of Black history?
Okay, yeah, sure.
Oh, really? The reason you're here is because of a Black woman, probably.
Say what?
The reason you're here is because of a Black woman, probably.
How?
Really? 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 Biology.
Yes, it takes
All
two
right,
to
and who
tango.
carried you?
Who carried me? The woman, because that's a woman's job. A man's job is
So
not to
you were
carry me.
inside a woman being protected inside her.
I was inside
You
a
were
woman
sheltered
being...
inside her womb.
I was being sheltered
You were
inside her
sheltered.
womb. Hold up. You talking, but you ain't letting me talk. I was sheltered inside her womb. Mind you, what's it called? While my father was ready and wasn't carrying a child because that's a woman's job, so he could go out and someone try to break in my house. You stay in here because you're pregnant. You hide in the goddamn closet. I'll die for you. That's a man's job. That's a warrior's job, to die for his woman. A woman going out and fighting for her man, that's backwards and stupid. I feel like less of a man if I have to go out and fight for, if my woman has to go out and fight for me.
You sound like less of a man talking that shit. And this as a man telling you that. Because when the father tells
Wait, you're saying that men leading is a condition of slavery.
No.
That's what you're saying?
when a father leaves due to the condition of
Okay,
slavery,
father
or something
leaves,
like that.
okay,
Now, when the woman who's a single mother comes about, and then rears her
Now,
child.
why did that woman become a single
rears
mother?
her child.
Why did that woman become a
conditions her
single? Why did
child,
that woman become a
and
single mother?
protects her child.
Why did that
Is
woman
she not a
become
woman?
So, continue on. Continue on. Women in this, women, we need them. They're not property. They're not a commodity. To break down patriarchy. Is to understand. That there are no laws. Or regulations. Every woman. Queer or trans. Cis or trans. Regulates them. It is our duty. To set them free. From a system that oppresses them. There is nothing progressive. When women's bodies in the system are being voted upon by males who feel entitled. That is their property. This is not the type of culture I grew up with. Because in my culture, women are queens. Women are light. Women are the guide.
What culture
We
is that?
deal with patriarchy. But by not disvaluing who they are, we empower them to create a space and allow them to feel free within their own conditions.
Within their own conditions.
Because
in
order for us to move forward.
In order for us to move forward.
In a society.
Should have the power.
Shouldn't take place.
Shouldn't take place.
We should be comfortable as men.
We should be comfortable as men.
To allow women to lead.
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 Both cis and trans.
Both cis and trans.
To find a way.
To find a way.
And be okay.
And be okay.
To move forward.
To move forward.
In a more inclusive society.
In a more inclusive society.
Capitalist system.
Capitalist system.
Function in patriarchy.
Function in patriarchy.
Function in patriarchy.
Function in patriarchy.
Homophobia and sexism.
Homophobia and sexism.
And other forms of bigotry.
And other forms of bigotry.
Because we have frowned upon on others.
Because we have frowned upon on others.
That other people should not have no power in this system.
That other people should have no power in this system.
That women. Both cis and trans.
Both cis and trans.
Are only a commodity.
Are only a commodity.
In order for us to move forward.
In order for us to move forward.
We should allow them.
We should allow them.
To lead us.
To lead us.
It like my
women is the direction.
Because their womb. Is like river.
It's like a river.
They create life.
They create life.
And if we oppress them.
If we oppress them.
And punish them.
Or
shackle them. You yourself. Will be punished. By Mother Earth. For not respecting her body. I will say something in my language. Respecting the earth. I hope you guys can follow. Ang ina ko. Salamat. Sa buhay na binigay mo sa akin. Sa buhay. Na binigay. Sa akin. Ito po. Ang sasabihin ko sa inyo. Ang pangako ko. Na ang babae
ay simbolo
ng tubig.
Ako din, I'm also indigenous from the islands, and I'm standing with my brother. No, yo puedo hablar 4 idiomas, porque inside of me, inside of my blood, lives the blood of a rapist, lives the blood of a colonizer, lives the blood of a we that transcends all of us, that transcends borders and walls. It is love and fear. And it is something I talked about in a prayer circle earlier. We can do 2 things in life, and we can do it in many ways. We can defend our fears or cherish our love. So what are we going to do? Tell me, what are we going to do?
Cherish our love.
We have to cherish our love for one another. If it means defending each other, if it means sacrificing, if it means crying, if it means breaking down. Because right now, the world is in flames, yes?
Yes.
We see people turning blind eyes because in smoke, it hurts our eyes. But only in light can we see the smoke in the room, that the room is burning. And we are the light, our voices are the light. I am considered privileged because of my light skin, and my brothers have darker skin than me because we don't share the same father. There are walls, but there are more walls. We are taught to love our colonizer, to worship our colonizer, to thank him for our oppression. But that that is only to defend our fears, to remain in the darkness, to not see that the room is filled. So I encourage you in whatever platform you have to talk to those that we can all not talk to reach them in whatever way you can, because you are all beautiful and that's why you're listening. Truth is to be reminded, not taught. If you are feeling something right now, it's because it's true. If you are feeling something right now, it's because it's true. I know that obviously logic has surpassed most people in this country, because he's a liar, right? He's a liar, yes, okay. But he actually touched something in them, and what is it? It is fear. He touched their fear. We need to motivate from love, from caring, from compassion. Even if that means self-defense, even if that means talking in a louder voice than I have ever been comfortable talking it. My mother was a socialist rebel against Marcos. And she came here as an illegal immigrant, a refugee, married my father for papers. So, you know how it is. But the thing that I want to say is that I want to thank my Mother Earth, our Mother Earth, because that is the voice that is coming through me right now. It's not me. My mother named me in a traditional name. My name is Malaya, and it means the one who is possessed by freedom. And I was like, fuck, possessed by freedom? I'm like, Jesus Christ, no wonder this shit happens. But when I see all of us beautiful people coming to tears, coming to literal tears because of our love for one another, then what is stronger? What is stronger and more unbreakable than that? We have to be able to reach people through our love, through our kindness for one another. And all of you, I just want to say one more time, do we defend our fears or do we cherish our love?
Cherish our love!
Amen. And this is dedicated to all of our brothers and sisters out there at Standing Rock. Think of them in your prayers right now. And just, we're offering this to them. Thank you, everybody, for your voices. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing this with your people. Thank you for sharing this, because that is the energy. We need to refocus the energy, reframe the energy. I'm not saying that, like, maybe we don't know what to do. Maybe we don't know the policy. But what we can do is we can frame our everyday actions, whether you're a designer, an artist, or a cook, or whatever it is. Reframe it and say, these are the times that we're living within. These are the rocks under our feet, and they're moving. And if we don't move, there is no room for a still body on a moving train. So we are the moving train. Salamat sa lahat. Gracias a todos. Thank you, everybody. And I love you. So
We
that's
love
why
you.
I would like to actually say that every person who has spoken is actually of an indigenous background. And if you realize, there has been somebody from Bolivia. And I always make this joke because Michael's my sibling. But I always say that I am from Turtle Island and he's from the Pacific Islands, and somehow we're decolonizing together, which is really powerful because he's literally a whole ocean away in reality. But yeah, we face the same problems, and even me, who's like literally not from what you call the United States, but I stand here with like a Bolivian indigenous person, a person from two people from the Philippines. I don't know if you're from the Philippines, you're from the Pacific Islands.
Yep.
Philippines? Okay, so two people from the Philippines or the Pacific Islands, and our other speakers as well, who actually I think are from this area, from Canada. Thank you. So, as you notice, this indigenous struggle isn't just here. It's not just Dapple. It's something that we've all experienced, and even if it's a whole ocean away, we've all experienced it. And you living here as a settler, you have a right to speak about this. You have a right to be our voices when we can't be our voices, and let us be our own voices as well. Listen to us. Who knows the land better than the people who actually are from the land? And yeah, I can't say anymore, to be honest. That's really so much.
So yes, I encourage everybody to exchange numbers so we can keep doing this shit, because it's
Hell
not going to
yeah.
end on a practical note. If you guys want to do a party or something, let me know.
Okay, so you know how we all feel hopeless about Standing Rock today? Tomorrow we're still going to be here. So, just so you guys know, I'm going to give you guys some homework. There's such thing as Google, there's a such thing as books, and there's such thing as neighborhoods. Okay, talk to people. Okay, research this shit. Join a front line. I don't care if it's Standing Rock, Black Lives Matter, Keystone Pipeline, we need bodies. And I don't mean people sitting on the internet being like, hey, look what is happening right now.
Amen.
No, I mean literally get out there. I don't care what you do, what hobbies you have. We need videographers, we need photographers, we need lawyers, we need artists, we need muralists. We need every single shit. Any people don't think you have a talent, you're probably have a talent. But I don't care if it's just like, you know, cooking for people.
Can you drive a car? Can you cook food?
Exactly. You have talent. Yeah. Word. Everybody has a talent, even if you don't think you have a talent. If you sing, you can be the worst singer in the world. I don't know, comedy, whatever you want to do. There is always a front line needing you. And it is your duty as a person who lives here to actually take, the government's not going to take care of you. I'm going to tell you that honestly. The government tells you, like, lets you vote for every 4 years, and then you think you suddenly have it under everything. No, this is what happens. You let the government run your shit. You get Donald Trump. But no, I'm so honest. Like seriously, your home, like indigenous people, because this is not our. Standing Rock became a huge front line, but there has always been indigenous front lines. We have always been doing something. We have always been active, and a lot of times, I actually want to say this about Red Warrior Camp, because they did go through a struggle being in Standing Rock because they were considered too militant or too violent. But a lot of them have always had front lines. A lot of them have been doing this for years. Even though Standing Rock began maybe in April, I believe it's fighting for years for this Mother Earth. We've been fighting in New York, we've been fighting in Arizona, New Mexico, and Mines, and this is not just the United States. Companies, the Zapatista movement in 1994 became public because they started talking about NAFTA and how it was harming our area. You know, I want to say something actually. I actually have never spoken about this actually in person, but when I was 17, I went to Chiapas, and I don't know if anybody has ever been to Chiapas, but this is where the Zapatista movement formed and everything. But I went to San Cristobal de las Casas, which is like the main city in Chiapas, and the poverty there is so stricken. Like you just see it everywhere, and hungry. And we were standing behind a car, and I decided to give them food. And then I talked to some people, and they told me that they had walked miles to come here to the main part of the city in order for them to be able to like make a living. And this is sad that people who are indigenous to Chiapas have to make a living miles away from their homes. And you just see all these tourists, and they're taking pictures of Spanish cathedrals. And it's crazy how you go to Chiapas to take pictures of Spanish cathedrals in indigenous lands, because Chiapas has one of the biggest indigenous populations. So I just, after this, recently I'm a big Zapatista follower. I love the Zapatista movement, but I was reading some work by Subcomandante Marcos, who's actually a big aspiration of mine, but he wrote 2 years before the Zapatista movement became public, and he did it very detailed, and he's a very poetic writer. But he wrote something, he's like, there are 3 roads in Chiapas where everything comes out. Only 3 roads it takes for every resource Chiapas to come out. They have all the plants, all the bananas, not even the bananas, but all the fruits, all the product that comes, the majority comes from Chiapas. All the mining, the resources, they come from Chiapas, and it only takes 3 roads for everything to leave Chiapas. But what comes back in is capitalism's trace of everything, of poverty, of missing women. This is all what capitalism does to indigenous people. So the way he said it is, capitalism leaves traces for us in poverty. And it only takes 3 roads for it to go out. And I promise you, a lot of you have never heard of Chiapas. It's common, but the fact that the colonialist settler regime can do that to this country, and can do that to any country that is like ours, because literally indigenous land is ours. And it's just really sad. Because when I actually read that, I was just like, I've been to Chiapas, I've seen this firsthand. And a lot of people will read this and they'll just imagine it, and they'll be like, oh, this is sad. But once you see it with your own eyes, you literally want to cry, because you see these women and they're just spending their lives selling everything. They're selling their culture, they're selling their food, they're selling their labor, they're selling everything, and they just deserve the world because the earth is theirs. The earth is literally theirs. Their ancestors are lying beneath this. These 3 roads were made by settlers. Cathedrals were made by settlers, and meanwhile, we're getting all the mean profit. We're not being able to live. And once we die, which is something capitalists doesn't think about, once we die, you don't have anybody to work for you. You need the workers. You need to have people beneath your feet for you to be able to survive. The products you get and all the materials and the resources that you people steal, not you people, oh, you guys benefit from it. The resources that are being stolen, all of that, that has an owner, and that is Mother Earth. Mother Earth owns all of that, and her children are the indigenous people of this land. And while you're mistreating them, or while you're not paying attention to them, or while you decide to just be like reposting this post about Standing Rock, it's so sad. And tomorrow you don't come out to these front lines, we're still dying and we're still counting bodies. We're still counting a lot of bodies. And this isn't only Mexico, this isn't only Chiapas, as I said. This is North Dakota, this is the Philippines, this is everywhere that you can consider a person who is a person of color. This is Africa. Africa is getting raped like a motherfucker by Europe and by the United States. To be honest, Africa is going through some shit, to be honest. A lot of stuff is going through, and a lot of people are like, well, we don't want to go to Africa. It's so poor. Well, guess why it's poor, guys? Like, honestly, like when we talk about sending immigration, you know, immigrants back to their countries, we don't talk about the foreign policy of why they're here in the first place. We are here because of our foreign policy, because the U.S. decided to invade their countries, and they can't survive in their countries anymore. So when we're telling them to go back, get the fuck out of there, to be honest, so they can live. A lot of people are like, well, you know, recently the whole wall system, the whole wall that's being built on indigenous land, by the way, and it's going through a whole indigenous tribe. But when we talk about a wall, you know, a lot of people are like, come up to me and they're like, you're Mexican, Abby, you know, you guys should just leave. It's just like, there's this little thing called NAFTA, right? It's the North American trade agreement between the U.S. Okay, Mexico was supposed to get jobs. We were supposed to get employment. We did not get employment. We got poverty. We got disasters. We got natural environmental racism. Our water is not drinkable. It is polluted. Okay, the United States gained labor. It gained resources. It gained everything. So if you guys want to talk about us leaving this land, right, you guys are locking yourselves into this wall. Because Mexico, if it could uprise, it could literally survive on its own. And the way it has done it, because Bolivia has actually offered to do trading with Mexico recently, you know, Latin American countries hold you together. Africa holds you together. Asia holds you together. And the reason we are fighting in Middle Eastern countries is not because of freedom. It's because of terrorism on resources that do not belong to us. They are part of the Middle East. And, so yeah, dismantle capitalism, guys, because that's fucking
So, I get a lot of frustration with people who think that activism is just holding a sign, right? Like, that showing visibility is the only thing we can do. But you know, creating social change requires willingness to change the way you live, right? You know, you, like my grandma said, you are the reflection of the world you try to create. So, while it's easy for us to pretend that we have an infinite amount of resources in this planet, the Mother Nature has no reservation to kick us out. You know, the Bible has said stories about washing the unclean. Noah, right? But like, there are examples of Mother Nature claiming back her land to reboot it. So we have to remember that, like we walk around pretending that we're some prideful, egotistical, you know, person we are, we live in a borrowed time. We live on a borrowed land. If she decides to take this all away from us, we're nothing. We're standing on the land, our houses, our clothes is built on her resources. So while we like to pretend that we are some shit, oh look at me, I'm big, but you know at the end of the day we depend on her. She doesn't depend on us. We come and go. So I feel like if there is some sort of change starts with what you buy, why it's easy for us to hold signs and meet here today, I think that the change will happen through examples. I don't care how much money you spend on protest. I'm more interested about what you did to create a better future for the following generation to come. Because the goal is to leave it how we found it. And so far we have not been really good at doing it. About empathy and kindness. We should be able to leave the way we found this planet for those who should be able to receive the glories of this Mother Earth, right? So I think that the goal, instead of trying to fight each other of political differences, right, which is normal, what we need to do is to really come together on a common goal. You're never going to agree that the sky is blue, but we can agree that the sky is there and built with that. We all understand that the system is fucked up. Your generation is paving the way by speaking against capitalism and finding alternative system like socialism or any other forms of structure that can save them because they get to live. I will say I apologize for the older generation that frowns upon you, that tells you that you are a useless generation, you speak about bullshit, because in reality, you have to live this generation from all our mistakes for not taking care and leaving some sort of resources for you to go buy into. Because you have to live this planet and this system knowing that you might not have anything to secure you. That should be on us, knowing that we are responsible for each other's lives and visibility. If we can pretend and act like the homeless man is not as important as the guy across the street, we are deciding whose body is more valuable over the other. We shouldn't be negotiating between the trans women and the cis white men. We should be actively trying to figure out how we can bring them in. We shouldn't be talking about black women as a nuisance or Muslim women as a nuisance in a system. Because if we want to create an inclusive society, 90% of what we need to do is to create safe heavens for them. We should be celebrating those people who are actively creating radical solutions. Because at the end of the day, there are the future to come that can pave a newer way. We don't punish people because they're anarchists. We don't punish them because they're socialists. We don't punish them because they're abolitionists. We don't punish them because they're, they're environmentalists. These are the people who's trying to find ways to create some sort of solution. We make fun of people who tries to live their life outside the grid. I'm gonna tell you something from Occupy Wall Street. A homeless man told me, reality check, man. Homeless one told me I feel pity. I'm not homeless. I'm houseless. If I sleep between Broadway and Union Square and I feel safe, I feel home. The problem with you is you spend the rest of your life appeasing the system that commoditize you. I get to watch you every day walking back and forth, trying to get some solitude and acceptance from a system that only sees you as a product, commodity, money. I get to live my life, walk around, and know that I did not allow myself to subject myself as much as it's going to criminalize me. So you have to remember, we make fun of homeless people, but you know what? In reality, I've lived in this city 3 years being homeless. Their whole entire life on the scraps of the ruling class. While people like to talk about that we're lazy, like people like to talk undocumented lazy, undocumented people are willing to come to this country, leave their family. My mother left me at the age of 5 on a father that told me and I that he will not support us. My mother had to come to this country to be a cleaning maid for an upper class family and get paid $4 an hour. She worked her ass off to be here. So the conversation of we are a nuisance, that we're told that we can be better. So like the lady over here was speaking about inclusiveness and freedom and what this, we still get frowned upon instead of being celebrated. We should not be deporting people that wants to live in this country. We should be creating homes for them because they want to risk their own family from another country to come here and say, I want to be part of this world to make it better. There's nothing humane about kicking immigrants out of this country because kicking immigrants is showing no compassion. There should not be walls. There should be no walls, right? On a land that does not even belong to any of us, that step into a land that belongs to her, belongs to you, and belongs to us. You are visitors of this planet to respect those who has been holding this land and have opened the door for you. We are all immigrants. I want to make this clear. It's a very heavy subject that I am. Most of us are not asked to come here. Taken away from their indigenous land. Stripped away from their land. And taken in this country to be a laborer, to work in fields, to create some capital gain for the status quo. So when we talk about we're all immigrants, you have to remind yourself that not everybody are immigrants of this. Some of us have been taken away from our land. We also have to remember that it's not our place to tell or hate upon a religion that shows love and compassion. You shouldn't be telling Islam that they're problematic, because Islam is also a religion of a story of society that how we evolve, no different than Christianity, no different than other religions out there. If we really want to talk about religious indifference, we should turn around and say gays and lesbian and trans has been punished, and women through Christianity and Catholicism. It's not our place to tell Muslim women that they're not allowed to be here because of their religion. And treat a religion that also show about guidance. That as a person of color, we have to learn to not endure this system. Black capitalism will not, it's not built to accommodate that. There are not enough assimilation we can do to move us forward. So I think what I'm going to say in this space is that if we are going to be revolutionary, revolutionary is not just taking the streets, it's creating the structure we want to live in. Empower yourself, empower those to be different. We all have the set of skills to become better. We only win if we choose to work with each other, not work against. We cannot cut the head of the snake. We can't cut the head of the hydra or the ahas. Ahas is a snake in Philippines. By ourselves. We are all warriors. We shouldn't be tone policing what a person, what he feels to breathe. We should be celebrating people that are awake. The fact that she wants to fight, the fact that she wants to scream, the fact that she wants to say that the system is fucked up and bullshit. The moment we start telling people to be silent is the moment we lose. So while we talk about morality of non-violence, non-violence is violent. So we might have to consider protecting each other. Protecting each other as self-defense. Protecting the land that's needing work, love, and compassion. So at the end of the day, instead of saying, you know what, we need to be living this non-violent pacifism thing, color who works every day non-violent, when their bodies are constantly being targeted by the police or the system. As privileged, walk in life, black and brown and indigenous body in this country often gets judged and not heard as an individual. I said this many times. white, black and brown, and indigenous women and trans kin, we are often judged as a collection of identity like you guys are. But you know what? You can't set the pay. When I said white privilege is not, we are capable to be doing, move people forward. So it is your day. Today I'm fighting for others that cannot be heard. Today I will organize with people who are not often be heard. Instead of playing this petty that you think I'm racist and think, forget about it. Be uncomfortable with us. I'm asking you to take the time to be uncomfortable with her. Because we've been living in this system for a really long time in an uncomfortable way. And the only thing I'm asking is that please be uncomfortable with us and stay with us. And not walk away because it got too difficult. Because what you're feeling, who happen to be privileged, is a gift to allow yourself to cross over to our side and feel the pain of my ancestors who have fought trying to feel visibility in this country and in my own country. It's selflessness. It's kindness and compassion. Give yourself a pat on the back when you feel like you're frustrated because I'm being told I'm not a good ally. That should empower you to be better. You should be listening to her, listening to you, listening to each other, and said, you know what? I can do better. So, because at the end of the day, those are the voices of the unheard. And if I want to work with the community, I need to stand and truly listen to her. Right? So, she's gonna, you wanna do a little prayer? Or?
I can do it.
You want to do a little prayer, and hopefully we can leave in positivity and then we move forward.
I know this is just one thing, and Standing Rock seems like a downfall right now. So please, after this, I ask you to join the front line. I'm begging you to join the front line because the only way we'll move forward is by pushing these front lines forward.